can't be canceled, there's no way that you can stop me. I'm fully independent, there's no label who can drop me. Y'all been starting rumors, let me help you with some. Yeah.
I'm a racist, I'm a sexist, I'm in love with Donald Trump.
Y'all can't cancel me, my life is scandal free. There ain't no sponsors taking losses cause the brand is me. My hands are clean, my family and my fans agree. Y'all can't cancel me for facts because you're mad and weak. Go ahead and tell the world I'm ugly and racist. I braid my hair and I don't care about cultural appropriation. I lived in the ghetto, lived in South Central, there's no Caucasians. And still I loved every single one of my neighbors. How's a man say I'm clickbait if he gonna use this face to get clicks on his page? Y'all hypocrites are bitch made. But I ain't tripping about these bullies, it ain't 6th grade. Go ahead and diss me trying to sell a couple mixtapes. I'm not afraid, take my face and my name, paste it on the front page. I'm already famous and you'll never change it by hating or claiming you'll take it away. My grind wicked, write my rhymes different. You could try to quantify defying limits as a dying gimmick and denying winning. This is pure fire, this ain't white privilege. I do what I want, get all the Gucci and Louis Vuitton out of my closet, out of my crib, I do not want it. That is for kids, that is for rappers who ask you to produce their beats for free, pretending online like they rich. I am not playing it safe, I said what I said, it is what it is.
I don't care if you mad at me, okay? Go ahead and change the channel. Don't waste your time trying to cancel me, okay? They love me cause they know that I'm an asshole. Say what you want, I guess it is what it is. Haters can talk, but they can't cancel the kid. Go ahead and go on, try and say this is it, but I swear to God, you can't cancel the kid.
Everybody knows my name, from local folks to global fame. I'm vocal about the social justice movements. I expose the fakes, turn rappers into ghosts and graves. Make no mistake, they bones will break. I'll throw them in the wolf enclosure, slowly turn and close the cage. Acres full of sheep, you know that I'm the only goat. I'm great, they spoke my name to mostly hate. I don't complain, I'm woke, I wait. A total focus soldier, wrote the art of war. Know every page, I'm numb to all the dumbness. Smoke tobacco laced with Novocaine. I won't behave, I stoke the flames. I'll choke they throats with golden chains. Use vocal cords as skipping ropes and jump till I am soaked in brains. From open plains to coastal waves to solar rays in open space. Can't find nobody doper unless you poke your veins and snort cocaine. Whoa, y'all can't cancel me. Just get mad that I'm the man until you smash the screen. Like whoa, I can handle heat. I walk through hell in open sandals drinking gasoline. Yeah, I could've been a star, could've had a mansion and a car and a Grammy album on the charts. I'm a savage, Randy with the bars. I don't rap about Xanax, goddamn it, can't cancel facts. We need answers, championing trash to the masses actually massively damages, yo. Keep trying to cancel me, yo. I own the masters, so yo. I make the beats, I write the songs, I own the cameras, yo. I could've been famous, dumb my music down till it's basic. Get it on the hottest Spotify playlist, modify my catalog and go mainstream, yo.
I don't care if you mad at me, okay? Go ahead and change the channel. Don't waste your time trying to cancel me, okay? They love me cause they know that I'm an asshole. Say what you want, I guess it is what it is. Haters can talk, but they can't cancel the kid. Go ahead and go on, try and say this is it, but I swear to God, you can't cancel the kid.
I feel like all these rappers lately on a mission. They starting drama, they don't really want no problems, so they talk in whispers. Don't even start, no competition, y'all are finished. They say they feeling froggy, but I bet none of these frogs gon' rib it. They think I'm soft, but I promise y'all that I'm solid like a rock inside a Teflon box and dipped in carbon fiber liquid. I'm not religious, but I walk with Christians. If Jesus died for all my sins, he'd need 1,000,000 crosses tall as buildings. Y'all can't cancel me. I'm a god and you're the devil, stop attacking me. Like whoa, nails in my hands and feet. Y'all some snakes, I don't need fruit from that apple tree. I ain't doing features or buying beats. I'm a wolf, I don't lie with sheep. I am what I am, and I can't hide my teeth. Way too many rumors, I'm like, who said it? Never met him, if he dissed me, probably about to drop a new record. I do what I want, don't matter if I get approval or not. Y'all ain't gonna cyberbully me or try to push on me until I'm becoming some dude who I'm not. Head full of ludicrous thoughts, producing the songs. My music is truth and you brutally shocked. I'm shooting my shot, I'm Biggie, I'm shady, I'm new school Pac. Go ahead and call me a piece of garbage, make a starving artist your primary target. I'm the largest monster in the farthest darkness, I'm a closet sharpened, I'm an army sergeant. If people wanna hate, then I'm grateful. It's only gonna make what I say less painful. Look at my face, embrace, I'm unstable. I ain't gonna break or shake or feel shameful.
I don't care if you mad at me, okay? Go ahead and change the channel. Don't Don't waste your time trying to cancel me. They love me cause they know that I'm an asshole. Say what you want, I guess it is what it is. Haters can talk, but they can't cancel the kid. Go ahead and go on, try and say this is it. But I swear to God, you can't cancel the kid.
Hey. Yes, I'm in sunglasses. My eye is like light sensitive at the moment. So I decided I'm going to wear glasses. I haven't been on camera in like forever. So the one way to get me on camera was to wear sunglasses. So here I am. Welcome everyone. Welcome to my channel. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. Couple things I want to say before I even start, because, you know, no matter what I do, somebody has something to say. So I want to explain a couple of things before we get started. First, I want to address the hypocrite comment. No, actually, let me start with a different one. I have gotten emails from people. I've heard it in other chats. Guys, don't be afraid to come to my channel. Because someone's running their mouth on every corner about me. People are literally telling me that they're afraid to come to my channel because they're afraid they're going to get blocked in other channels. Okay, I'm not giving out herpes to my subs, so I really don't understand why people are afraid to come to my channel. If someone else is going to block you for being in here, they don't need to have you as a subscriber. I really mean that. Nobody should be afraid to go to someone else's channel in fear that they're going to get blocked somewhere else. That's fucked up. And it seems I've gotten a bunch of emails about this stuff. This shit has to end, people. Like, seriously has to fucking end. And if it's not going to end, I don't know what to tell you. But this shit has to stop. Again, nobody should be afraid to be seen on my channel. I promise you, you're not going to catch AIDS. You're not going to get herpes. You're not going to get genital warts by coming in my channel. I promise you that. And I can't think of like 3 worse things. And if you're straight, I'm not going to turn you gay. And if you're gay, I'm not going to turn you straight. If you're white, I'm not going to turn you black. And if you're black, I'm not going to turn you white. I mean, I don't understand. But people are literally afraid to come in my chat. They're not come in my chat. They're afraid to be seen in my chat because they're afraid they're going to get blocked other places. That shit's got to stop. Please do not be afraid to come in my channel or to watch me live or anything. Like I said, if anybody blocks you for being in here, then they should not, they shouldn't have your membership or your subscription. Just saying. So that's the first thing I want to address. Second thing I want to address is I've heard through the grapevine that some people want to say I'm a hypocrite because of what I wrote in my post the other day. Okay. Last time I checked, I didn't realize I needed YouTube haters' approval to change my mind on something. I'm sorry, that memo must have missed me. Thank you, Slide. Not scared. That memo must have missed me. Because last time I checked, I didn't need the approval of my haters to change my mind about something with solid reason. So if you guys have the memo and I missed the memo, let me know. Because I must have missed it. At no point have I ever needed anybody's fucking approval to do what I want. If you haven't noticed, I do what the fuck I want. How I want and when I want. And
don't hit subscribe. I always try to tell them they do it every time. I tell them it's the problem, but they acting like it's fine. I'm begging them to stop, but they leave me with a like.
And I don't need anyone's approval. And there's good reason why I changed my mind on this case. Very good reason. And I think I explained it the other night. But tonight you're going to hear even more. So, yeah, I just want to make that clear. I am a human being. And last time I checked, I am a 52-year-old woman who is allowed to change her mind without asking approval from my haters. So, again, if there was a memo that went out, please show me that memo. And I'll be happy to read the memo and respond. But as of right now, my response is, go fuck yourself, because I don't need your approval to change my mind. So keep your hate for your stanky ass, whatever, for your subs. We don't need the hate over here. And this goes to a few people. I'm not singling anyone out. This goes to actually a few people. Because I've heard it a few different places. Another final thing that I want to address is in that same email, there were people that I guess missed what I was saying or only heard a piece of it. So let me reiterate. In that email, I mean, in that post, and by the way, someone said I ranted. Nobody ranted. I made a community post. Didn't say anything on a live. Never went live. So let's stop the rumors. Let's stop the lies, and let's stick to the facts. I know it's very hard to do in this community, but let's try to stick with the facts. So one of the things I said in that community post was about the subs. Now, I could be wrong, but I find that my subs, people that are attracted to me, are of high intelligence, for the most part. Obviously, we have a few here and there, but for the most part, I think my Patreons are very intelligent. They're, like-minded people stick to like-minded people. So if a creator is an idiot, they have idiot subs. And I'm not saying my subs or my Patreons are perfect, but I do find them to be out-of-the-box thinkers. I find them to look at things not like normal people in these communities look at things. I really do find them of higher intelligence. Now, some people may agree, some people may not agree, and that's okay. I'm not asking for approval. I'm telling you what I see. People that go to Truth and Transparency are not going to like me because I call shit out and I stick to the facts. And I do put in my opinions, but I'll let people know it's my opinions, and I will never try to turn my opinions into facts. That just won't happen unless it happens. You guys know what I mean. I don't always say things perfectly, and I own that. I don't always do things perfectly, and I own that. That's not a secret. I don't need, 3 creators calling me out because I said something wrong. I'm the first to fucking admit if I say something wrong. I curse too much. I know all this. I don't need anybody telling me otherwise, especially people that think I need their approval, which I do not. So I know that most of my subs, 90% of my subs, knew exactly what I was saying in this post about the subs. And one of the things that I had said, which I've got feedback on, which I think is absolutely ludicrous, but I'll address it. Somebody said, oh, so you're blaming something along the lines of, this is not verbatim, but you're blaming subs for a failed channel. Okay, last time I checked, I don't have a failed channel. Thank you very much. But at no point was I blaming subs for my channel. So again, I know that most of my subs completely understand this. But there's select few that don't. So again, I'm going to say this slowly. What I said in that post and what I specifically meant in that post is that there are liars, just like they're all on Facebook. There are subs whose sole purpose is to run around giving false information because they get off on it. They think it's cool. They think it's funny. We had one not too long ago that was over in Queen Bee and thought it was hysterical to say that I fell and I broke my teeth and it was all on ring cam. It took me 2 days to prove that was a blatant lie. But a couple of hundred people automatically believed it. So if they would believe that, they would absolutely believe Kaz coming into a chat saying, oh my God, did you hear? Brian Kohlberger is now innocent. Well, where'd you hear that from? I watched it on CNN. Well, most of these creators are not going to say, oh, let me go check it out on CNN. They're going to say, oh, really? Wow. Can you believe Brian Kohlberger is innocent? That's what they do. So when I talked about subs are to blame from going from chat to chat, that is the exact reason. Again, I know most of my subs understand how I think, how I talk, because again, like-minded people stick with like-minded people. So it's not a shock that, I said that people run chat to chat. But again, there was a small percentage that did not understand, Yeah, spreading rumors. There's a small percentage that did not understand that and thought that I meant that I'm blaming subs for a failed channel. I don't know. That's what they said. So, and I also don't understand why people think I have a failed channel. I started, do I have 500,000? No. Partly, a lot of that's my own fault. But when I talk to my subs about my channel being stagnant, that's for me and my subs. That's not, oh my God, Laura's got a failed channel. I am very proud of this channel and how far it's grown, because I started in this community at like 7,000 subs, 7,500 subs, and I've grown it to 21.9. Everybody else has gone from like 6 to 8 or 4 to 7, or some of them went 3 to 6. I went from 7 to 21. I think I've done pretty good. And in between all this, I also had another channel that I built that has 7,000 subs. Then I built another channel that had 4,000 subs, and then it got shut down. All in the same time frame that a lot of these people have not grown more than 2,000 or 3,000. So when I talk to my subs about my failed channel or, you know, being stagnant, that's because a lot of them have been with me from 2,000. Janelle has watched me go from 1,500 subs to 21,000 subs in a couple of years. And I was off for a couple of those years. So you figure in 3 years, I've gone from like literally, or 4 years, I've gone from like 4,000 to 21,000. I don't think that's failed in any capacity. So I really wish people, when I started Patreon in 2019, I had 4,000 subs. Thank you, Janelle. So I had 4,000 when I came in this community. I'm now at 21,000. I'd have to say that's not failed. That's pretty fucking good. So, like I said, I don't know why people think that when I talk to my subs, I'm like talking to them. No, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to my subs. So, yeah, I just wanted to clear all that out. It's been bugging me tonight, and I had to clear it all out. So, all right. So I want you guys to know I am going to blow your mind with what I discovered tonight. And I really mean that. I'm going to let you watch some of the video. I want to turn on my fan and change into shorts because I'm hot. But about halfway through this stupid-ass con man press conference, I said something to Patreons. I said, I got this all figured out. And I told them exactly what I was thinking. And Crystal agreed. Nobody else was really in there. But Crystal agreed. Then at the end, he kind of drops the bomb and says it. I'm like, there you go. I was right. So you guys are going to hear stuff that you haven't heard yet from anybody, from what I can gather. And just mark my words, when it happens and all of this unfolds the way I'm telling you it's going to play out, you can say, wow, that played out exactly like we heard it. That's going to be exactly like what we just heard. You'll see. But first, we are just like-minded people conversing. Exactly. Before I leave YouTube, though, I want everyone to know, before I leave YouTube, Officer Jim Dangle is going to give me a super chat. By the time I retire, he will give me a super chat. I will not retire until he does, but I just want everyone to know that. So, because I don't think he's ever given anyone a super chat. But I'm going to let you guys watch this. I'm going to go change, but I'm going to let you guys watch this. Very important. And before I even tell you how this is all going to go down, I want to know your opinions. It's about 20 minutes. So Watch. All right. First, let me say, did anyone not see this press conference? The one that was done today by the con man. Con man meaning the wannabe Malcolm X. This dude. Has anyone not seen the one from today? Or is that, how many people have seen the one from today? I actually said that wrong. Jeanette, it's so easy. And that's what I'm saying. After what I tell you guys, case closed. I promise you, it's going to be case closed. This is so blatantly obvious. And I'm really shocked that nobody has said what I'm thinking. So, all right, let me go. I'm going to put it on. It's about 23 minutes. I'm going to make it big. All right.
Leave him locked in here. That woman a straight up monster. That in this house, she made him sleep in the bed with her all the time. She would kiss him in the mouth when she made him get in the bed with her in this rotten ass house. That detective is an absolute liar. I have come here today to speak that which that young man spoke to me. I have come here today to clear up one thing in particular. The lie that HPD told. HPD said that no sexual abuse was reported. That detective is an absolute liar. He sat there with me for an hour and 15 minutes and listened to every word Rudy said to me. In fact, he told the detective, I want Quanell to stay. And Grizzy was right there with us. Rudy asked, could he go home with me? He asked the detectives, can I go home with Quanell? She's right, we have witnesses to this. This detective heard everything Rudy said to me. But he was angry with me also.
Okay, let me point out one thing. Why are the Black Panthers there? That was the first key. This was a racial issue. And I'll explain more as it goes. But clue number one, this is race. This is a complete racial press conference. I'll explain as we go on.
Because the detective did not want me in the meeting. He did not want me in the room. And it really got confrontational. We have the video of he and I's heated argument about them asking me to come in and the cops not wanting me to go in. The detective heard Rudy say to me out of his own mouth, detective sitting right next to me, that in this house, she made him sleep in the bed with her all the time. And that young boy said to me and that detective that I did not like it. I didn't want to do it. That she was crossing boundaries. And she would not respect my space and respect my boundaries. He said to that detective right in front of me that she would kiss him in the mouth when she made him get in the bed with her in.
He 100% has an agenda, and I'm going to tell you what it is. And I'm going to tell you why it is.
This rotten ass house. She forced that boy to play daddy. She forced that young man to be her husband. He said to me in front of the detective, she told me I had to be her husband. He said to me in front of that detective, she said, I gotta be the daddy now. He said to me in front of that detective that she would come in the restroom while he was in the shower.
Crystal, that's what cops are for. if she has guns to shoot, that has nothing to do with the Black Panthers.
And she would get naked completely herself and pull the curtain back on that young boy. And I'll leave it right there, because the rest will make you want to vomit. So for HPD to say that no sexual abuse was reported to them, they're absolute liars. That man heard everything that I heard. I'm standing here speaking the truth of what Rudy said to me. Now I'm standing here fighting for that young man. I begged the detective, don't allow Rudy to go home with this woman. Don't allow Rudy to leave with this woman. I begged them to do something to stop him. I said to the detective, all three of them, after what you and I just heard in that room with that young man, how in the hell can you allow that boy to leave with that woman? And the detective said to me, because he is an adult, there's not a lot we can do about it. The detective, I also said to him, I said, sir, you know everything that young boy just told us. You cannot allow him to leave with her. That young boy told us how she would lock him in a room and leave him locked in there. That young boy told us how she would give him drugs, mushrooms as he called them. That young boy talked about how the drugs would cause him to hallucinate. She lied and told me when I first talked to her that the Hispanic young man that was seen here was her ex-boyfriend. And then when we were in the meeting with the detectives, she said it was her nephew. She'd been telling lies for years. So you mean to tell me, Houston Police Department, this woman can tell multiple lies to law enforcement. She can raise money all on GoFundMe pages. I talked with the investigator for at length today who worked on this case for years, the private investigator. She would raise money for Miss Jimmy. And one time she said when she raised the money for her, she only came for 5 minutes, picked up the $2,000 and drove off and left and didn't even thank the people who was raising the money on behalf of Rudy to look for him. I cannot believe, and I refuse to believe, that there's not a single charge that they can come up with to put this woman in jail so a judge can tell her you can have no contact with the victim, just like you do in domestic violence cases. If a man gets arrested for putting his hands on a wife, God forbid, they tell him that you cannot have any contact with the victim. Rudy is a victim. The reason why he was so willing to lie is because she had convinced him that the police had warrants out for his arrest because he had ran away. And she told him, because you ran away and they were looking for you and they spent resources looking for you, that you have a warrant for your arrest, and if they catch you, you're going to jail. She had convinced the young man to wear an assumed name because he thought he was in trouble for running away. Rudy also said to us, me and the detective, on more than one occasion, put his head down in tears right before he began to talk about him playing daddy at her request, and he got to be the husband. He has to be the husband, is what he said. He said, I don't want my mama to go to prison. I don't want my mama to go to jail. On yesterday, when the question was asked, was there a sexual relationship? The sergeant lied in his response. And then the next question was there a sexual relation between the mother and her son? They refused to answer that question and said he's a victim and we protect all sexual assault victims. See, they know what I'm saying is the truth.
At no point Did the cop say, we know he's a sexual assault victim? He's lying. The cop said specifically, without naming him, but said specifically, we cannot talk about any sexual abuse cases. He never once said, and he's a victim. Ever. Fucking lies from this con man.
That dirty, low-down damn cop was right there with me when Rudy said everything that he said. Just go back and look at the press conference. Why didn't you say, well, from what we know, there was no sexual relationship? You so freely saying that there was no sexual abuse reported, so what are you suggesting? Because he was of age, he gave consent? Is that what you're trying to say?
Now, I want you guys to ponder a thought, because this is what hit me a little bit into the conference. And I didn't even see this part. But I want you guys to ponder this as you're listening to this guy. Imagine being 25 years old, a male no less, 25-year-old male, and all this shit took place. Can you imagine some man screaming at the top of his lungs to an entire nation or an entire world with Black Panthers and everything? Can you imagine him blaring how you were sexually abused? Please tell me any sexually abused adult that wouldn't have a problem with that. I'm just curious. And I want you to think about that. We're not talking about an innocent child. We're talking about a male adult. I would be mortified as a female, let alone a male. So just ponder that as he's screaming this every fucking day.
Yes. Let me tell you something. Rudy is a victim. And for HPD to suggest on any level that that young boy may be involved in this scheme, that's wrong. That boy wasn't involved with no scheme. That woman a straight up monster. Telling you straight up. That's what that woman is. Woman sit there and told Grizzly and I both multiple lies. Multiple lies. And then get in the room with the detective and she starts singing a whole nother song. Rudy, in my opinion, his safety is in danger. Until he can be removed and placed with loving family or put in a facility where he can receive the type of mental health treatment and drug detox treatment that he needs. He needs that help. And right now he's not getting that help. And what further angers me, you know, for that cop to hear about all the drug abuse and he ain't do nothing to get that boy no help. Should have called, I say, man, call the paramedics. Take this kid to the hospital. Look at him. Then she told a big lie when we first got there. And I hate to put you on the spot, Grizzly, but if it wasn't for Grizzly, I would have never got involved.
Thank you.
Crystal, I'm going to get to that too.
Let me say that again. If it wasn't for Grizzly, that mother never would have called me. But she called me thinking I was going to help cover up with the lies she would tell and defend her. Man, let me tell you something. Everyone should be praying for Rudy and should be outraged with how this is being handled. That woman should be under the jail. I'm telling you for a fact what this young man said to me. And I'm going to leave it at this. HPD, don't try me. Because I got it on record what he said to me. But for the sake of the victim, I'll respect that young man's dignity, as my lawyers told.
He's going to respect that young man's dignity? Really? I have not seen him respect dignity since he opened up his fat ass mouth.
Me too. But if you try me with your lies again, I'll let everybody hear what that young man said. But I want to respect that young man's privacy, because what he went through should be for him to expose to a therapist and not for me to share with the public. But I covered my bases.
You've already shared it, and now I'm calling you out because I think you're full of shit. And I don't believe there's a recording, and I'll call you out. I know you're never going to hear this, but if someone can get this to him, I think he's full of shit.
I'll take your questions.
Why do you think HPD is lying?
I think HPD is embarrassed that they encountered Rudy on several occasions and did not do their due diligence. When they came to this address, had they done just some basic fundamental research, they would have seen that a child went missing from this address just years before. When they encountered him on other occasions, they didn't do their due diligence. They let that boy keep going with his mother. When neighbors would call in, when family would call in and say, hey, look, we got this tip about Rudy, they never even followed through.
Southern Gal, yes, he did say that he had recorded it with the cop, with the policeman, and the cops denied it. Cops saying that never happened. Johnny, I don't know why.
And in fact,
and maybe after I explain everything, you'll understand why I'm not buying it at all.
They have to tell the whole world now why when Rudy was found, you waited 8 days. 8 days to question him. In fact, they wasn't going to even question Rudy. Let me be clear about that. They had decided that they were not going to question Rudy after the mother told them he's nonverbal. The mother told me and the detectives right in front of Grizzly, oh, he's nonverbal, he can't talk. And so I pulled up a chair and I sat down next to him, and he was holding his mother's leg and crouched all over, and she had covered him up with a blanket. And I said, little brother, can you look at me? And he raised his head up and he looked. He said, I know you. I said, you do? He said, I know you. You Mr. X. I said, wow, little brother, you speaking now. Am I lying, Grizzly?
Nope.
Then I said, well, young man, can I shake your hand?
Okay, yeah. For those of you who think he's talking about Grizzly True Crime, he's not. He's talking about this person right here is named Grizzly. I don't know why people think it's Grizzly True Crime that they were talking about. It's not.
He put his hand out, he's shaking like this, like a leaf blowing in the wind. And I shook that young man's hand. I said, can you sit up and talk to me? And he looked at his mama. Then she said, no, he gonna have a panic attack. No, he gonna have a breakdown.
Now this part I believe. This part I totally believe. That he did say this part. 100% I believe this part happened.
I said, I think he'll be okay. I said, young fella, you'll be okay? He said, so I helped him up. And we set him in a chair. Then his mama said, we need to leave because I think he's going to have a panic attack. Then the detective said this, well, okay. Call us when you think he's better. Call us when you think he's able to talk. And I said, well, wait a minute.
No, this person right here is named Grizzly. That's Grizzly. He looked at her before and said it. It has nothing to do with Grizzly True Crime. This person right here is who he's talking about. No, he's not, Charlie. That's it. You're going to understand in a few minutes.
I said, at first he was nonverbal, but he talking right now. I said, give him a chance. The detective said, well, if it's okay with him. And I said, Rudy, would you mind talking to us? He said, yeah. He said, but I said, okay. Ask Grizzly. I said, okay, talk to the detective. I got up to walk out. Rudy grabbed my hand and said, no, I want him to stay. So for all of you people who putting it out there that I put myself into this case, his mama called me and Rudy demanded that I stay. And so I said, okay. I sat down next to him. And we asked the mother to leave. She didn't want to leave. We said, ma'am, it's important that you leave so we can see if he'll talk. He might open up. So she said, okay. She left. We started talking to her. She came back 3 minutes later, bamming on the door. We opened the door. She said, is he having a panic attack? We said, no. He's fine. Look at him. Rudy was calm. Rudy was calm. I said, look at him. She said, okay. She left. We started talking to him again. She come back 5 minutes later, bamming on the door. Is he okay? Is he okay? She said, oh, he's fine. Look at him. He's fine. We filming this too now. Because we knew what she was trying to do. So then we started talking to him again. And in that moment, it went on for a lengthy period of time then. For about an hour. Then she came back and tried to do up again. We stopped her. It went on for another 15 minutes. Then I did not want Rudy to see me start crying. So I was trying to sort of turn my back to him like this because of what he was telling me. Hell, I have grown sons. I have a 16-year-old son. And so he grabbed my hand again and I turned around. I was crying. And you know what he said to me? He said, it's okay. Don't cry. Everything I told you that young man said to me, he said right now. Everything. And when I got up and we exited that room, I stood in front of those detectives. And this is on camera. We got it on tape. I said, Sergeant, is there anything that you would not want me to say to the media that would jeopardize your investigation? He said, no. I said, sir, are you sure? Are you sure? He said, no. So we waited for like 5 or 10 more minutes because they took her into another room and they had detained her. They had detained her.
Okay, for those of you that might not understand the poll question, would you go to jail for your kid? Would you protect your kid at any cost? Would you take the fall if you know your kid was going to get in trouble? Would you take the fall for your child? Doesn't matter the circumstance. Would you take the fall for your child? It's a simple yes or no. It's not, it is vague, but it's either yes or no. Every single circumstance is going to be different, no doubt, but it's a simple yes or no. Would you take the fall for your kid?
Put her in handcuffs. Now here's the problem with that. If what the detective heard in that room was not a crime, well then why did he come out the room and put the mama in handcuffs? This ain't passing the smell test, man. If what you heard, detective, was not a crime, why you put that woman in handcuffs? Because he heard the same exact thing I heard. So before I left out again, I said to all three of them, I said, is there anything that I should not say that would jeopardize your investigation? And on the third time, they said no. 3 times I asked them. So HPD, if you keep lying, we'll let everybody see how it all went.
And they are lying.
So, for the sake of Rudy, And I'll close on this last thing. I come out the room, the detective come out the room. As we step away, the door was still semi-cracked. She went in the room with Rudy. She sat down in front of him and started asking him about what he was telling us. Then she said this to him. Back me up, Grizzly, you were right there. She said, you gotta change your story. If you tell them what you have told them, she's gonna go to jail. She said, I'm gonna go to jail and I will kill myself. That's what his mama said to him. And the detectives was right there at the crack door with us.
And I know she said it because she said it to me.
So, Rudy is a victim. Rudy needs help. That kid needs help. I've sat down with many, many men who confess heinous murders to me. I've sat down with men who've told me about crimes they've committed that I've had to turn in that'll make you vomit. This ain't my first case like this. But Rudy is alive. But if he's allowed to be in that woman's custody at any length of time, he very well might not be. Because I believe she will harm that child to try to cover herself. Any questions?
So based on everything that you heard, what crime do you think was committed, and what do you think she should be charged with?
Well, she and I went over that, so I'll let Dr. Matthews handle that. We went over at length with some of that. But let me say this. Incest is a crime in Texas. Even if they want to try to imply subtly it was consensual, that's sick, man. That boy was not in his right mind. That boy was exploited and taken advantage of. And incest is one. There's still some wrestling about the age when this really took place. But making false police reports? Yes. Multiple false police reports? Yes. Making a false stolen car report? Yes. Absolutely. Lying and saying telling the bank my credit card was stolen, and it wasn't stolen. You gave it to Rudy to have in his pocket, to use, to buy things for you. Then you sit there and tell detectives, oh, I canceled that credit card by 6-7 years ago. Damn credit card 2.5 years old. How he get it? From right out of here. That's how he got it.
My question on that part of the story, though, is how is a male going to use his mom's credit card in today's day and age? You can't. I mean, you can use it online, but you can't use it in person. So I don't really get how the police didn't look into that. If he had this other credit card, I don't get that.
There's multiple crimes.
Quanell.
Anyone from the family want to say something? I just want to give them a chance if y'all want to say something on behalf of Rudy or your family. Yes, sir. Next.
Yeah, I know that what Rudy told you has touched you. Obviously, coming here outside of his mother's house is a pretty bold statement. Why did you pick this location to do this press conference?
Because this is where all of it took place. This is ground zero, man, for Rudy Farias and what took place. This house needs to be cleansed. This neighborhood needs to be healed. Everybody in this neighborhood has suffered because of what this woman did. And I came here to let Rudy know we're not afraid to come to your house of horror. Your house of horror right here, we'll come here. Your house of hell, we'll come here. And before I pulled up, I got a phone call before I pulled up saying that she was inside the house with guns. And that if I came to speak in front of her house, she had guns and she was going to use them.
Red flag. His source of this was a news reporter. So please tell me, how come the news reporters didn't report this? Only he knows this.
Let me tell that mama something real quick. You don't know who in the hell you playing with.
At all.
We're not afraid of you.
Let's be real crystal clear, mama, because you got the right one in me. Trust me. So if you inside and you watching, and you want to come out and feel froggy, hop, baby. Because we won't need HPD to do the best nobody at that point. She's so bold, she gonna make threats. That's because the police have not put her rusty raggedy behind in jail. She has not suffered no consequences. That's the problem why she talks so silly like that.
As long as they keep covering their
And I got
bodies,
that
they're
tip from a news station, so don't say I made that one up. Go
So
ahead.
can you clarify? You say you have Rudy's accusations on either video or tape.
I didn't go that far.
Oh, can you clarify what you have? That,
no, what I'm gonna clarify for you is I got it, baby.
What does that
I
mean?
got the facts of it, and if I need to, I'll release it. That's what I'm saying. I'm not going no further deep.
Okay. Now, I had not seen that before. I started watching it like, I started watching it about, I guess, 10 minutes after this ended, and there was a new part. I'll have to find it. I watched it on ICML, as a matter of fact. But here's my thing. For those of you that said there's an agenda, there absolutely is an agenda. That agenda, this entire thing, is about suing Houston Police Department. That is this whole big agenda. And let me explain why. I looked up some facts. 24% of Houston PD is black. 40% are Hispanic. The rest are white. Hold on. Let me get your exact facts. What? Where'd it go? How did I lose it? I had it before. Okay, 24% of the department's 6,147 employees are black, exceeding the citywide population by 2 percentage points. Now, you have to understand. All right, here we go. 24% of the departments, black surpassing the citywide percentage by 2%. About 35% are white, exceeding the 23% of the city population. 31% are Hispanic or Latino, compared with 46% citywide, and 8% are Asian, surpassing 6% citywide. So basically what they're saying is there's more whites in Houston PD than there are in the entire city. Where do they come from? Why are there only 24% black? Whether you want to believe me or not, this is and that's why the Black Panthers are there. And all these other random people are there supporting him. They want to sue the city of PD. This is their way to do it. This is the way to do it. They don't give a shit about Rudy. They've probably brainwashed the aunt and everyone else who probably does care about Rudy. The police are saying that they don't know, like they're still investigating. Guys, everybody's assuming that Rudy's a victim. How do you know Rudy's a victim? Honestly, how do you know? You don't. Mom, as wacky as mom is, mom could be covering for her son. I'm not saying she is. I'm saying in the eyes of the law, they have to investigate. They can't assume that he's a victim. Maybe he's mentally ill and mom is covering for him. It wouldn't be the first time that this has happened. It wouldn't be the first time that we've ever seen this. Yes, I know I sound like I have a lisp. I'm telling you, this is a racial thing with the blacks in the community against the more majority white police department, and this is their way in. They already have mom hook, line, and sinker. The cops already said, welcome, Bible. The cops already said that that there was no tape, that none of this ever existed. So you have to believe either the cops lying or they're lying or he's lying. I tend to believe he's lying because he has an agenda. The cops don't have an agenda. Her ex-husband committed suicide. He was a dirty cop, so he committed suicide. Does it look like mom wanted brother's money? Do we even know how much money the brother had? Do we even know how much this inheritance was for? Are we talking millions? Are we talking 20,000? What are we talking here? We don't know. And if it was like 10 or 20 grand, to wait 3-4 years is a little much. He had a credit card. She didn't keep him locked up. Could it be that she told him X, Y, and Z? Yeah, it's possible. It's totally possible. It's also possible that wannabe Malcolm X over here told the neighbors after we sue the police department, don't worry, got you. We got you. We got you covered. Run with this story. Let's make a story. I'm more apt to believe, because I know growing up in New York, if the guardian angels came and knocked on my door and told me to do something, I probably would have done it. I mean, we're talking back in the 80s when guardian angels were huge. And even though they were like the good guys, you did what they said. I mean, you saw them in the street, you respected them. They came to your door, you respected them. If the Black Panthers came to my door, I might shit right then and there. I mean, they're scary. They are. They're all like fucking overgrown. They're huge. And yeah, with, face masks and you can only see their eyes. Yeah, that's kind of scary. So, and I don't know how it is in Houston. I've never been there. But if they came knocking at your door and said, hey, this is what's going on, we want to sue the police department, blah, blah, blah. Do you think these neighbors no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go against you. Fuck no. They're totally going to do that. And another thing I noticed, in a city that's 88% Mexican or Latino, how come all the neighbors that they spoke to were black, from what I can see? Every neighbor that has come on the news has been black, from what I've noticed. In a city that's 88% Mexican or Latino. So that got me thinking that this is completely this agenda of race against the majority white Houston Police Department. Blatantly obvious. Goblin, you don't have to be in here. He's a wannabe Malcolm X. And it's offensive to Malcolm X because Malcolm X was not only a leader, but he was a good leader. He served for good. This guy is a fucking con man. He's a complete con man. So if you don't like that, then you need to go. Go find another chat where you can run your mouth. I don't care. Are they still around, Tatum? I don't know if they were still around. I just know back then they were scary. I mean, even though they were for the good, the good, they were still scary. So, all right. Unfortunately, in Houston, we have to see Quanell and a circus show on the news for all high-profile cases involving blacks and Hispanics. Exactly. Well, I understand that if you're living in a city that's, 88% Hispanic, I would say that. So I understand that. Rudy is allegedly living with his aunt. And again, I'm not saying that the mother is normal. I'm not saying that the mother is a good person. I'm certainly not saying the mother is innocent, because the woman is fucking whacked any way you slice it. And could she have been everything that everyone is saying he is? Yeah. But again, I go back to what agenda. I know their agenda. What is the agenda of the police for a cover-up? You know, I've been racking my mind. What could possibly make them? What kind of agenda could there be? This woman is not swimming in funds. She doesn't have money. The only thing that I can see the cops being weird about what is if dad didn't really commit suicide and an open investigation would prove that the cops killed the guy. But she doesn't have money like that. And there's no lawyer looking into that. That's the only thing that I can come up with of why the cops wouldn't want to rattle her. That's the only reason. And if not for that, I can't think of any other reason why the cops wouldn't. But that's the only thing. Crystal, just get rid of them. That's the only thing that I can see happening, is that they're afraid if they arrest her, something's going to open up and it's going to be discovered that the ex-husband didn't commit suicide. It was a murder and there's a paper trail to it. That's it. That's the only thing I could see. But other than that, I can't think of any other reason why the police would have motive to cover it up. Okay, he was Rudy's dad, but it was never her spouse. Oh, okay. So, again, and my other thing that I questioned, and I thought long and hard about this, what 25-year-old, even the way he just laid it out, what 25-year-old do you think is going to open up this complete sexual story to a complete fucking stranger? Why? Who's not a cop. And then to have this person just blatantly blare it out to everybody. Let's say it is true. Let's say everything he's saying is true. How fucking disgusting are you? For those of you that were with me through Making a Murderer, this is like a Ken Kratz moment. If you don't know who Ken Kratz is, watch my old videos. But this is a Ken Kratz moment. Here's somebody who's already leaking, assuming it's true. Put aside the fact it's not true. Let's just assume that it's true. Assuming that it's true, you now have put out someone's private, intimate details of their life, and you put it out there 20 minutes after he told you. That is not protecting the victim. That is laying out an agenda for your lawsuit. What are you suing the PD over? They're getting people so wrapped up that, and knowing that it's on social media, knowing that there's a buzz now going, they're trying to get people, as many people as possible, to put pressure on Houston PD and the world on the mom. Everyone's going to hate the mom. Again, I didn't know that we are now a system of public opinion. I mean, not public opinion, but public, I forgot the word, public hangings. I can't think of the right word. Can you say Scott Peterson? Since when do we not wait for a court case, wait for a jury trial? Since when is now we're hiring advocates to just run with public opinion. That's where this is at. This guy doesn't give a flying fuck about Rudy. He doesn't care about what this is doing to Rudy. And assuming everything he said is true. Let's just assume he's true, okay? That's what I'm going on. Assume that it's true. He doesn't give a shit about Rudy. He doesn't give a shit about, about what he's doing to him. He doesn't care who is upset over it. He doesn't care who's riled up over it, as long as he can fit his agenda and at the end of every sentence say, the mother this, the mother that, the mother this, the mother that. The mother isn't guilty of anything yet. Last time I checked, you need to get into a court of law. First, she needs to be arrested and she needs to be charged. But until that happens, why are you publicly hanging her? This is okay? We don't even know if the story is true. There's no proof that it's true. What we do know is that the cops said it's not true and that none of that fucking happened. We do know this guy is a fucking liar. That we do know, because he stated very clearly a blatant lie. That all you have to do is watch a press conference from yesterday with the police and you know it's a blatant lie. Why? Well, there's only one reason why someone lies, because they have an agenda. His agenda is to sue Houston Police Department for not doing anything with the mom, for not doing anything. And once they sue him, they're going to get an undisclosed amount of money. He's dealt with it before. They're going to settle out of court, and he's going to take a huge profit and pay out the others. That is how this is going to go down. And remember, you heard it here first. Because I promise you, that is exactly how this is going to go down. If the cops don't get arrested, if the cops do get an arrest, he's going to take credit. He's going to get money for it anyway. He's going to be a god. People are going to thank him. People are going to say he's the reason the mother was arrested. But I want to know what's going to happen when he finds out, if he finds out Rudy's not a victim, that Rudy knew all along what was going on. How do we know that Rudy didn't know? How do we know Rudy didn't play along with it? Because if you look at the facts, and again, stick with the facts. The mother did not lock him up. He was not a sex slave. He was free to leave at any given time. He went over to the neighbors. He spoke to the neighbors. He had a mom's credit card, so he obviously went out. He spoke to people. At any time, he could have gotten away. This isn't a child. Even if the mom said you're going to get arrested. Okay, if he's so willing to speak to this stranger, who he just happened to know, I guess a lot of people in the Houston area know, but if he knew that, I mean, if he was so open to speak to a stranger, well, don't you think that he'd be open to tell someone that something's wrong? Something in my house is wrong? Did you never wonder why you never spent Christmas with any relatives? I also believe the relatives knew he was home. Nobody was looking for him. Then we find out, I found out today, which I don't know if a lot of people know or not, but what was it? Now I forgot. Hold on, let me play it, because I totally forgot. I know that's his game. I caught it within 10 minutes. Hold on. Either way, he's going to look like a hero. Unless Rudy is guilty. But remember, he's got to play it that Rudy is not guilty. Because if Rudy is guilty, he gets nothing and he looks like a fool and a liar. So he's got to make sure that in the court of public opinion, he is certain that Rudy is a victim. And again, I'm not saying Rudy's not a victim, but he has to make sure 100% unequivocally that Rudy is a victim. Because That's the only way it works with his agenda. So as long as he has the court of public opinion and he's able to convince enough people, well, guess what? If you can convince enough people, then it doesn't matter what happens, with the police or anything, because the court of public opinion, which is much bigger than a small police department, will justify what you're saying, and the cops are fucked up. And guess what? Now they have another lawsuit. They have a bigger lawsuit that they are, going after a victim. So either way, no matter how he plays this, he's got a lawsuit against the police department over something that has nothing to fucking do with him or anyone in his family. But again, all these relatives that spent all these years wondering where he was and blah, 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 never did jack shit to find him. Just, oh, well, we don't talk. Again, did you ever wonder why you didn't spend family time with your family? Of course not. He also charges families for his services. There you go. I'm sure he does. He's a good speaker, don't get me wrong. Thank you, Truth. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. But there was something about the hospital. So there's a PI. Let me find it. I have it on my phone, but there's a PI that went on, someone sent this to me, that went on News Nation. I don't know which show. Went on News Nation and said that she was hired, and then when the mom started asking questions, thank you, Southern Gal, when the mom started asking questions, she backed away. Okay, if this kid was never missing, then you should be fucking embarrassed to say that you're a PI. Sorry, not sorry. I'm sorry, but if the kid is right under your fucking nose and you did not, and you didn't know, and you searched for this kid for 5 months and the kid was home the whole time, you probably shouldn't be a PI. Just saying.
Expedia members save on travel.
Can you guys hear it okay?
So to help us untangle this case, we were joined by private investigator Brenda Paradise. Brenda, thank you so much for giving us some of your time. First, explain your connection to this case.
Yo, don't hit subscribe. I always try to tell them, but they do it every time. I tell them it's a problem, but they acting like it's fine. I'm begging them to stop, but they leave me with a like.
I use the term hired loosely because I'm not paid for private investigation work. Back soon after Rudy went missing, his mother, Janie, filled out an intake for an organization that I volunteer with. The nonprofit organization is called We Help the Missing, and we help families at no charge. We received an intake from Janie, and from there we went on with the case.
Okay, so there's so much to unpack with this, Brenda, and I want to start, but first, so you're saying that when he initially allegedly went missing back in 2015, Janie, his mom, had reached out to you. We know you're a volunteer, but it's kind of like she essentially hired you. Do people who are potentially guilty tend to hire or ask private investigators to help them because those same investigators could potentially expose them?
Not usually. Usually they try to stay private in my experience. But I believe that's why I lost contact with Janie several months after I took on this case. She had questions about me. She was questioning my questions. And since the very beginning, it's the most bizarre story. And I was asking questions that Janie didn't like. So although she's the one that filled out the intake, I don't consider myself working for her. I have, in respect, worked for Rudy the entire time. I lost connection with Janie when she didn't like the questions I was asking her family and her.
Yeah, so you're basically working to find the truth here. All right, Brenda, I have to say, being in this business, I tend to be very skeptical about a lot of things. There's a lot of things that had alarm bells going off in my mind about this initially. What was your reaction when it was reported last week that Rudy had been found at a nearby church? And then what do you think is going on here?
This, again, has been the most bizarre case because there's been anomalies throughout from day one when we received the intake that had the wrong year on it. That's why there's some confusion with the public as to was he 17 or was he 18. He was 18 when he went missing. His mother filled out the report wrong and used the wrong year of birth. So when we did...
Okay. I have a question about this. For anyone that can answer it, I'm all ears. If I have an 18-year-old that's missing, and I know that the cops are not going to look for an 18-year-old, but they are going to look for a 17-year-old, you bet your ass I'm going to change that date of birth. This is... Now, I don't know when she filled this out. I'm thinking that maybe she filled this out, like, before he came home. Like, maybe this was all done the first day. I don't know. But I would, honestly, if it was a matter of they're going to tell me if he's 18 that he's just going to, maybe he'll come home, he's 18, he's an adult. If my 19-year-old goes missing, I'm going to write that they're 17 because that's the only way the cops are going to look for him. So I don't have a problem with the mom doing that.
Math, he came back as 17, and the initial missing persons profile came back that he was 17 years old, not 18. But my initial response when they found him last week was all questions. My first question was, is that a real picture? Because that picture that she showed of him in the hospital looked very much like when she said he was in the hospital way back in, I think, 2012. There have been other reports that from the mother that he had been found before she had actually asked for money to go to Mexico because...
Yeah, but Crystal, child support double checks all that. That's what I don't understand either. People think like child support isn't going to check the system. Of course they check. You need to hand in a birth certificate and everything. Like, unless you physically change the birth certificate, I'm not buying that. You have to give child support all this information, and they double check it. And you need an original copy of the birth certificate.
She said somebody random called her from Tijuana and she needed to go to Mexico. We set her up with an investigator that's in Mexico. And she said she needed ransom money. And of course she was asking for money online to give a ransom and to hire somebody in Mexico to be able to help her. The pictures that she showed online were suspect because, again, they weren't real clear pictures, didn't show his face. As far as the church that they found him at, we were questioning how in the world did the mother, when they originally reported that he was found at the church, they had reported that that thought he was a female with long hair. And how did Janie show up at the church before law enforcement ever showed up at the church? How did it go from, hey, we think this is a female with long hair to, oh no, this is missing Rudy Farias?
That's the one part that I found very interesting. How did the mom show up before the police? If he was in a car accident, how did she know to go to that church before the police? That's the one question. That's all that I wanted you to hear out of that, but that's the one question that didn't make sense to me. How? Why? How? How is that even possible? It's not. Unless the mom did it. But again, this is all secondhand information. We don't know if this stuff is true. We have no idea. Everything that we're hearing is all second and third hand information. I don't know this woman. I'm assuming she's credible. But where's the proof? There is none. And that's another thing. Rudy had brothers. I think there were like 4 other brothers or something. How come none of them saw him or said anything? And why would the mother do this to him and not any of the other brothers? Oh, I had to, Crystal. I had to show original birth certificate, everything. Not in court when you set up child support. Through the child support office. All right, when I'm saying child support, through the child support office, not if you 2 people just go to court. I'm talking if you actually go through child support. Maybe California's different, but here you gotta show it. But I know that people could set up child support just by going to court. I'm talking when you actually go through the office. Doesn't matter if brothers aren't his full blood. Did they not see him in 8 years? You know, I understand the mom probably kept him separate, but nobody saw anybody for 8 years? Yeah, did you have to give social security number or anything? I mean, you have to give all that. Even in California, you have to give all that. Rudy's bio dad was married when he had an affair with Rudy's mom. That's what I thought. But was Rudy not in school? I mean, I have so many questions. Was he not in school? I don't know, just so many questions. No, they didn't live at the same house. Rudy was like a secret. I will also want you guys to see the rest of the press conference. Oh, he has his own page. I did not know that. Hold on. All right. It's a $100,000 life insurance policy on his brother that was killed in a motorcycle accident. Brothers and sisters, the world is shocked and blown away by the sinister, horrific events surrounding the last 8 years of this young man's life. He was severely abused at the hands of one person who should have given him unconditional love. Someone wrote, you can't remain in the public eye for long, accused of fluffing up stories to garner attention. Those of you who say Quanell has done wrong in the past, who hasn't? I believe he has good intent. Yeah, I don't. I think he's full of shit.
Is
about Rudy's situation?
Initially, when the mother first reached out to me, she said that she felt investigators were intimidating her and harassing her, and that she was concerned about her son's well-being. And so when she called me, when it was time to meet with the investigators, I went in with a strict open mind, believing that maybe the mother was being harassed and law enforcement was being a little bit more insensitive. Well, come to find out, what she told me the day before was not matching up to what she was telling investigators on yesterday when they were questioning her.
Quick question. For those of you that live in Houston, why would the mother contact him? Does he run like the streets of Houston? I don't understand. Like, why would the mom contact him?
She told me that the gentleman that had been seen around her house was an ex-boyfriend, but during interrogation with law enforcement, she told them in my presence that the gentleman was her nephew. But also, her family had already indicated to us there was no nephew who was ever there. So once we saw Rudy was clutching her leg. She said Rudy was unresponsive, that he was nonverbal. But when we were able to remove Rudy from her, he said, well, I want Quanell X to stay in the room with me. I said, okay, and looked at the investigator. He said, no problem, fine, it's his choice. So when we removed her, the kid opened up. Took about maybe 5 minutes, but he opened up. And one of the things that he first said that stood out to me was, I just wanted to be free. I felt like a slave. He went on to say that she told him that you now got to be my husband. I'm going to now call you daddy of the house now. And she also convinced him that law enforcement was looking for him to arrest him, that he had warrants for his arrest for running away from home, and that if they caught him, he was going to jail.
Quanell,
so she conditioned him to believe, yes.
Conditioned him to believe, meaning just through words, or do you think that he was abused by his own mother physically?
Oh, she did a lot more than that. She gave him drugs. She provided him with mushrooms, other type of drugs. Also, he admitted those things to us in the meeting. He also said that he ran away when he finally ran away from home and stole her car and left the house. He said, I just wanted to be free. We said, why? He said, because she was making me do things that I knew was inappropriate. She was violating my boundaries. We said, what happened? He said, she was making me get in her bed at night and sleep with her. And then he asked him, I said, well, anything else happen? He admitted that she would kiss him on his mouth and his lips when he was in the bed with her, and that he did not like it. And he told her that he did not like that. And sometimes he would sneak out of the bed and get on the floor, but she kept making him get in the bed. He also said to us that she kept locking him in the room for years and then letting him out when it was time to go to work with her or whenever she wanted him to run an errand for her. He also went on to say that he would be in the shower and she would come in the shower, take off all of her clothing while he was in the shower bathing, pull back the shower curtain, stare at him, and I don't want to go any further.
No, I don't want you to go any further either.
Again, Ken Kratz moment. How does he remember every fucking detail without blinking an eye? Tell me. I can't remember every detail of my own life, let alone someone else's. I don't buy this. This is like Ken Kratz moments. Not even looking down. He's got all this in his memory that he can just rattle off every detail that was told to him without blinking an eye. Nope, not buying it.
Also, because we're not talking about a kid. We're not talking about a kid who's 6, 7, 8. I mean, that's terrible enough to hear. This was a teenager into his 20s. So whatever was going on here was, very deep-seated to get somebody of that age and have that kind of control over them. Now, the police, Quanell, they got a lot of answering to do here. It's not your job to find people in your community. Luckily, you and others came together to get this kid into a place where he can be safe. But the police contradict you. I want you to hear, I know you know already, but for the audience, here's something that they said at the press conference today and give you a chance to respond.
You said there was no reports of sexual abuse. Is that correct? sir, what you said?
That is correct, coming from Rudy Farias.
Was there any conversations about a sexual relationship between the mother and the son?
So we don't release any type of information related to sexual assault. That's just state law. I can't comment on that.
All right. So, look, you know, the police often play that both ways. They tell you what they want you to know, and then when they don't want to answer a question, they say, we got privacy issues, even though this kid's not a minor. Be that as it may. Do you believe that the police are being honest when they say this kid has never talked about these abuse things, which would mean basically either they don't know what you were told or you're making it up?
No, they are not being honest. In fact, let me be crystal clear. We got the proof that they're not being honest, sir. The sergeant, the detective, sat right next to me for the entire hour and 15 minutes that Rudy talked to both of us.
I will never respect anybody. All right, I'll give you guys an example. Guys, I have John Travolta locked up in my closet. Okay? Prove me wrong. Are you going to show up at my door? But you don't hear him scream. Where's the proof, Mr. X? Where's the proof? You keep saying you got it, but you haven't showed it to anyone. You haven't proved it to anyone. So where's the proof? There is none.
Both of us asked Rudy questions, and he answered both of our questions. The exact explicit details that I've shared with you this evening were the exact details that were shared with the sergeant detective sitting right next to me. In fact, he got up at the end of that meeting and went out of the room and spoke to other detectives, escorted the mother into another room, and at that point put handcuffs on her. If he did not believe, sir, that a crime had been committed based on what he had heard, why did he leave out the room and put handcuffs on his mother? Because he knew she had committed crimes against his child.
I understand what you're saying, and it's easy for us to follow up on, and we will. Quanell X, thank you very much for telling us your truth and, you know, being part of the effort to help this kid, no matter what the backstory is.
Notice how he said, thank you for telling us your truth, not the truth. Thank you for telling us your truth. Because again, Quantum X didn't send the recording to anybody. He's not playing it for anyone. Why not? Why not? Yeah, I got John Travolta locked up in the closet. Woo woo. You haven't seen him for a while?
Si no lo llevas como un médico. ¿Qué piensas de hoy de la conferencia?
Let me speak. I'm going to say this. Quanell statement should have been...
No, that was yesterday's. Where's the one from today? I don't want to have to play ICML. Press conference 7/7, but it's tagged. There's no fucking video. Where's the video? That's yesterday. That's yesterday. It was yesterday. Why is it not on his page? Oh, that's his Instagram. I don't understand why it's not on his page. Hang on.
This is my comeback.
to look for him. Earl now.
Told you has touched you.
Let Rudy know we're not afraid to come to your house of terror. Of a sexual assault, in our opinion, and in their opinion.
Okay, I think this is where I left off.
And that I should not, for the sake of his personal privacy.
What's the difference between you describing what's in the tape and you just releasing the tape?
Because that's my right to do so. And I wanted to give, they told me no, don't do that. I'm following wise legal advice.
Who's your lawyer?
That's none of your business. But Stanley Snyder. But anyway, Stanley.
My first kiss did not just start when when Jason say something, but they're not going to know that if they didn't take him to go get medically checked. And they.
All right, his is low. I'm going to go to the other one. Hold on.
Refused to.
Yep. All right.
On either video.
I didn't go that far.
Okay,
what I said, no, what I'm gonna clarify for you is I got it, baby. I got the facts of it, and if I need to, I'll release it. That's what I'm saying. I'm not going into further detail than that.
Yeah, do you have a recording? What do you have?
But we got a whole lot recorded. But go ahead. Yes.
But other than just what he said and what he told detectives, is there other evidence that you know of that police don't know about?
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Boy.
Okay, I'm going to address this and we're going to end this. All right? Avery, get the fuck out of my chat. I don't know what your game plan is with Gator, but I'm not playing it. All right? Get the fuck out of my chat. I don't ever want to see you in my chat. You don't belong here. Keep your fucking money. And yeah, bye-bye. Go try to fuck someone else. Later.
Is it? I'm really not sure. But based on what I've been told, I talked with the investigator who worked on Rudy's case for years. She now lives in Alaska. She told me things that she said she reported to HPD over the years. And she wanted HPD to investigate the mother. She told them she thought the mother was involved. She told them of the warning signs and the red flags that she had discovered. They never followed through. So I think she needs to be interviewed in depth because she knows a whole lot. This woman was flying across the country, his mama, raising money to look for Rudy. Really using those trips as vacation trips. All in New York raising money to look for Rudy.
California, yeah.
You understand me?
What is it, California?
There's a whole lot more to this story.
She went to Cali too.
But that investigator knows a great deal with whom I spoke with, and she is very knowledgeable about a whole lot of this stuff. But I'll let her speak for herself.
Have you
Come on over.
Oh, she got the investigator?
No.
Oh no, that's
why not?
Because my attorneys told me that I should not.
Why? I don't.
Because he is a victim.
That channel started June 28th of 2023. So if it's not Avery, it's a troll that doesn't need to be in here. Come in on your real fucking account and you won't be blocked.
Of a sexual assault, in our opinion and in their opinion, and that I should not, for the sake of his personal privacy.
What's the difference between you describing what's in the tape and you just releasing the tape?
Because that's my right to do so, and I wanted to give. They told me no, don't do that. I'm following wise legal advice.
Who's your lawyer?
That's none of your business.
Oh yeah, who's the lawyer?
Stanley Snyder. But anyway, Stanley Snyder.
Stanley
but
Snyder.
no, Told me not to. Yes.
Okay, I'm here. Y'all just asked, was there any other evidence or anything else any other way?
Just state how you related.
I'm sorry, my name is Michelle Rodriguez, and I'm first cousin to Rudy Farias, Janie's niece. Prior to Rudy's disappearance, his so-called disappearance, his mother had been seen by my late grandma of causing abuse to Rudy, sexually, physically, mentally. This did not just
I don't know what all that background noise is. It's not here.
start when Janie reported Rudy missing. It was going on for quite some time before then. And did it start at this house? No. But Janie needs to be brought in. And the police letting her go, the DA letting her go, letting her walk free because they don't have no proof and they say that Rudy there are no sexual assault proof. Y'all not gonna know that. I want to say something, but they're not gonna know that if they didn't take him to go get medically checked. And they refused to do that. And they let her walk. They're not gonna know what the hell she's really done if they didn't bring her in and put pressure on her to talk, which they're allowing her to do because they're covering up for themselves. They're covering up what they knew years ago and they didn't want to come out forward. So the chief of police, the DA, and any other law enforcement that knew about this from back then, y'all are gonna come out. It's all gonna come out. You can't hide. Nothing's gonna be hidden anymore. So whatever you think you can't hide, good luck, it's coming out.
Michelle, en español,
te podemos preguntar, ¿están ustedes haciendo una acusación muy grave al departamento de policía diciendo que están ocultando información, de que están ocultando parte del testimonio que dio Rudy?
Let me also add a wrench in. If she kills herself, that gives the police, that gives fake Malcolm X even more of a reason to sue the police department because they let her go, which caused her to kill herself, which then in turn lets, there was no justice served for him. Any way you cut this, at this point, there's a lawsuit waiting to happen. And he's waiting for it to happen.
¿Por qué creen que ocultan esa información?
Porque ayer el chief of police dijo que no había pruebas. Que lo que dijo Quanell.
Who's here with you today?
We have a couple of neighbors here. Let this neighbor come up. She was attempting to pay neighbors. Let me be clear.
Oh, yes. Yes.
In the last couple of days, she was offering neighbors money to break into the house and destroy evidence. So there was a break-in reported over here. Did y'all know that? A few days ago? She was attempting to pay neighbors to break in to take certain things out of the house and get rid of it. Talk about that, brother. And state where you live and who you are.
My name is Adrian Boone. I'm a friend of Rudy's. But I'm going to start off with y'all questions first.
No, tell what happened.
Hold up. He's a friend of Rudy's? So Rudy had a friend. So Rudy's not locked up in a basement. Rudy had a friend. The kid just said I was Rudy's friend. Okay, so Rudy wasn't being held captive. I mean, this kid openly said Rudy was my friend. Well, obviously Rudy had friends. So he wasn't being held captive in the basement.
Okay, so she called me. This is all facts. She called me 2:30 in the morning. I don't be asleep. Ever since this happened, I'm worried because he come in my house to my garage. She offered me $200 along with other friends. I'm not going to mention them because they don't want to be brought up.
No snitching.
Offered us $200 to go in that house and get some stuff for her while she at work. I thought to myself, why you offering me money to go in your house when you was just at home? To break in there. If somebody's in the house or if a neighbor's, anybody see, I go in the house, I can either get shot or arrested. I never had a background in my life. Never did nothing wrong. So why would I start now? Especially for money. I have my own money. I wouldn't stoop that low.
Why do you think she wanted you to do that?
Come again?
Why do you think she did that?
I mean, what would you think? To hide evidence, have us do stuff for her, keep her hands clean?
And then remember she's saying break in. Well, she tells somebody to break in her house.
That ain't all she said.
Go ahead,
That's
Keisha.
not all she said.
Let's go, Keisha.
We heard. It's okay. Go ahead. Say your name first.
My name is Keisha Ross. I'm the neighbor that discovered that he wasn't missing. She didn't just offer them to go into her house. She offered my cousin $200 to go in back of the house the day all the stuff went down and knock on the window. Dolph, I saw him. He used to carry a gun. So suppose my cousin know too much. So why would you call him the same time you call my son after you hang up with my son and ask him to go in back of the house to wake Rudy up? Because if he's armed, he can get shot too. Because you so-called told me, and it's on video, I'm the one that gave that video of her saying that the reason why she didn't want him to tell nobody who he was or discover who he was because the cartel was supposed to be after him. Then she's making accusation she left because we asked her for money. You offered money. You paid my cousin on Cash App $10 to walk around the corner and tell the neighbor that he don't know anything. You offered us money. You offered me money to say that I was lying, that I was talking to a so-called nephew. Ask your nephew, do he know me? Ask your nephew what's inside my house. Only person that can answer that question is Rudy, because that's who I always let in my house and let in my garage since I've been here, and I've been here since 2022. And I never.
All right, so let me ask you guys a question. You have a kid that's a good kid. I mean, the other kid sounded like a really good kid. Never been in trouble with the law. Somebody pays you or offers to pay you to break into their house. Who's the first person you're going to call? I don't know about you guys, but the first place I'm going to call is the fucking police. How come none of this was reported to the police? None of it. Only this comes out when the Black Panthers show up at your door. Then all of a sudden it comes out. But I don't know. Where I grew up and the way I raised my kids, first thing I'm going to do is call the cops.
Never knew he was missing.
State what crimes we believe she's committed.
It doesn't matter how they knew the police. It doesn't, none of that matters. I mean, if they knew the kid or not. If one of my neighbors went up to my kids and asked them to break into the house, I'm calling the fucking police and I'm reporting them. No, they didn't call the police on that.
Okay, so Dr. Candace Matthews, I'm the National Minister of Politics for the New Black Panther Nation. We've actually done some research in reference to the laws that has been actually broken by Miss Jeannie back here, Rudy's mother. And we find it very interesting that the DA has not picked up any charges whatsoever. Because when you're dealing with this type of situation, when you have someone that is actually then gave allegations that has gave pretty much whistle blew on what has happened to them, law enforcement is supposed to act. And none of that has happened. So,
what makes you guys think this is the hood? This isn't the hood.
we have is aggravated kidnapping, which is section 2004. A person commits an offense if he intentionally or knowingly abducts another person with the intent to inflict bodily injury on him or violate or abuse him sexually or terrorize him or a third party. So by her having sexual intercourse with her son, then threatening her son, telling him, if you go and say anything, then I'm going to go to prison or you're going to go to jail, that falls under that law. And that's a felony. Next one, we have sexual assault, Texas Penal Code 22011. A person commits an offense if B, a sexual assault under section A1 is without the consent of the person or other persons if 3, the other person has not consent and the actor knows that other person is unconscious or physically unable.
Okay, just so you guys know, and I know a lot of people may not know this, a Mexican family having bars on the window is a sign of fortune. It's not a hood thing. I learned this in El Paso. I was like, why do all these houses, I thought you moved to a good area. Why do all these houses have bars on the window? And it's actually the opposite of what people think. In a Mexican home, bars on the window is a good sign. It's not a hood sign. Now, I'm not saying this isn't the hood, but in a town that's 88% Hispanic, you don't want to go by bars on the window as being a hood. I'm saying I don't know if it is or it's not. I'm just letting you know. Don't put bars on the window as a measure.
To resist. Isn't that what happened with the drugs? Yes. Okay. I'll continue. Number 4, the actor knows that as a result of mental disease or deflict, the other person is at the time of the sexual assault incapable either of appraising the nature of the act or resisting of it. And then also part 6, the actor has intentionally impaired the person's power to appraise or control the other person's conduct by administering substance without the other person's knowledge. So we know clearly that was already reported to us through Rudy. Then, Ms. Jeannie, clearly we already know Section 3708, false report to a peace officer, federal special investigator, law enforcement employee, correction officer, or jailer. A person commits an offense if, with intent to deceive, he knowingly makes a false statement.
So let me just tell you guys why she's reading all this. She's reading all this because she's laying out what the lawsuit is going to be. If they don't follow this and her facts, you've just laid groundwork for the lawsuit.
That the material to a criminal investigation and makes a statement to a peace officer, federal special investigator conducting the investigation. Then let's remember we talked about the GoFundMe that falls also under Texas Penal Code 3103, which falls under theft. A person commits an offense if unlawfully appropriates property with the intent to deprive the owner of property. B, appropriation of property is unlawful if the person is stolen and the actor appropriates the property knowing that it was stolen by another. And that comes out to be a Class A misdemeanor if the value of the property is stolen from $750 to $2,500. So that's a charge right there with the GoFundMe. Then we got another charge. It was also stated about the insurance fraud, correct? So if Rudy was missing for 4 years, then that funds go to the next of kin, which is the mother. So hiding him for 8 years, that falls under this insurance fraud. That falls under 3502. Insurance fraud. A person commits an offense if, with intent to defraud or deceive and insure the person in support of claim for payment under the insurance policy. Also, part 1 of 3502. Prepares or cause to be prepared a statement that A, the person knows contains false or misleading material, information, and B, is presented to insure, or 2, present or causes to be presented to an insurer a statement that the person knows contains false or misleading material.
What are you doing?
So those are at least 5 charges that she could have right now.
Was it leaving?
She's still in this house. Then let's talk about the police officers with HPD.
Where's this guy going?
So if families alleged
The lady looking too like, what's wrong with you?
People who she's friends with. Well, if you're watching, let me let you know what charges you about to get when we flush you out.
Oh shit.
1, official oppression. 1, official oppression, which is Section 3903.
Yes.
A public servant acting under the color of his office or employment commits an offense if he, 1, intentionally subjects another to mistreatment or to arrest, detention, search, seizure, disposition, assessment, or lien that he knows that is unlawful, and 2, intentionally denies or impedes another in the exercise or enjoyment of any right, privilege, power, or immunity, knowing his conduct is unlawful. Also, intentionally subjects another to sexual harassment. Isn't that what Janie was doing to her son? Okay. And then also, last but not least, for the ones that's watching this, just know we're gonna flush you out.
Let's go.
3902, abuse of official capacity. A public servant commits an offense if the intent to obtain a benefit or with intent to harm or defraud another, he intentionally is knowingly, 1, violates a law relating to the public servant's office or employment. So these are some serious charges that has been committed. So, Miss Janie, if you're watching, just know the hammer of accountability is coming your way. HPD and the DA, we know that you running for office. Don't worry, the hammer is coming your way too. Let us don't have these charges on this ma'am that's in this house.
There you go. There's proof this is all an agenda about a lawsuit. Like I said hours ago.
You're going to have a whole problem.
Quanell, can I ask one more? Yes, sir. Broader question. There's been a lot of things said, inaccurate, accusations of lies, second party, third party accusations. Why should we believe you that you are telling the truth?
I'll answer. The family wants to answer also. Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, I'm Pauline Sanchez Rodriguez. I'm the half sister of Janie Santana. I'm going to answer that to you. Okay. Number one, I'm going to get into a little detail. Okay. But first of all, is there's some.
Because Dawn, I believe there's enough evidence to show that this is nothing more than an agenda for money to sue the police department. And when it happens, just know you heard it here first.
Things that can be answered, and there's some things that are not going to be let out until the right time. Okay? Right now, foremost important, Rudy's the victim. Okay? We got to accept his privacy and certain things that he does not want mentioned. Okay? We cannot calm his.
I mean, what else can't be mentioned? They've already mentioned everything. Absolutely everything. They've already mentioned it. What's left?
Mr. X a liar, because that he's not. All right? Put it past a few years ago when my mom was alive. I don't mean to bring the subject. My mom rest in peace, and I keep saying that, but I told her I will bring this to an end. Okay? Meaning I'm the oldest of the sisters here in Houston.
Rudy's not suing anybody. Malcolm, the fake Malcolm X over here, is doing the suing. That's who's suing. The fake Malcolm X is gonna sue for everybody. And he's gonna walk away with 50% of it. Dawn, after we watch this, I can.
Okay, I didn't tell nobody. I got involved, and I continue to do this until we see her.
Bitch, where the fuck were you for the last 8 years? Oh, that's right, you weren't around. My bad.
Get the help that she needs. Okay, that's all I'm going to say, because she does need help. Janie Santana. Now, when my mom was alive, our mother was alive, she was under my care, under home health. Okay, I'm not going to mention the company I work for. She was under care. When I would not hear, or our mom would not answer the phone, I got concerned. That's time for me to do a welfare check. Okay, because I work for an agency. And the mom is under the state, and I'm going to come and check. So I come like a state does without notice. Okay. When that door wasn't open right away, I started thinking. So not once, not twice, it happened numerous of times. Finally, the door would open after 20 minutes. I put a watch on time, okay, because I'm on work duties. So when they finally answered, I got to see our mom. I did a welfare check through the agency. First thing my mom would tell me, Rudy is here. Rudy is here. I said, Mom, are you sure Rudy's here? Rudy is here. He's back there. So I walked around freely. I didn't see Rudy. You know why? because that gave them enough time, or Janie Santana enough time to get him to the damn back door and go into the woods. Okay?
Mm.
And lots of times she always kept his bedroom door locked. Locked. And nobody could go in there. Right. Because I even tried to open the door. She said, "What you doing in there?" "I'm trying to check and see, make sure that this house is clean." Half of the damn time my mom was dirty. I hate to say that. Okay, filthy. And burning herself because nobody was taking care of her. So tell me if I don't have a right to come in here and do a welfare check. I did. Okay, then I would call my family.
I'd yank my mom
But
out of
every
that shit.
time my mom would say, "He is here, he is here," Janie Santana would come out. "She's hallucinating. She's on medication. She doesn't know what she's saying." Okay? So, what are you supposed to do? I have to expect her privacy. It's her house, right? So I go about my way and I put my little notes in my system. Okay? At work. As long as I did my job, I'm okay. It kept on, it lingered on, and it lingered on, and I kept telling everybody, I says, "Janie is hiding Rudy." And I have to believe what my mom would tell us. Okay? I had to believe that because moms don't lie. Okay?
How about that?
And what stupid ass mom, excuse my French, is going to do that to her own child? As mad as you are, that's one thing that nobody should downgrade themselves. So this man right here, Mr. X, when I physically, and I'm not the type that I don't give up. DA, HPD, everybody. I physically went yesterday because I'm not the one to give up. First, my son went in there to see him. He doesn't want to be on camera. Okay? He's one of my firstborn triplets. He got there. Then finally, he agreed, my nephew agreed to see me. Thanks to Grizzy. Okay? Grizzy's the number one. If it hadn't been for her, we wouldn't have come this far. This far and have Mr. X here. The only thing, as soon as I hugged my nephew yesterday, we started in tears. And I know him already from him growing up. He went to a Catholic school. Am I right, Linda? He's not one to lie, because they don't teach you that. And he was raised up by my grandma being through him since he was a baby.
Remember, you hear that, guys? Nobody in Catholic school lies.
He wasn't raised to lie. When I contact him and I more or less told him what Janie Santana did to you, you're going to be okay. So he more or less knew what I meant. You know, we cried, we shed tears. It's like telling me, yes, absolutely. You know, when I said, when Quanell, did I say Quanell X talked to him? He said, is that going on? He nodded his head. He wasn't going to say it out loud. So do you expect me to call this man a liar? Hell no. HPD and the DA better get their shit together. All right? I'm sorry to say these words, but I'm a type of person like my daughter here. I'm going to speak the way it is. All right? So anybody, for your answer, it has to be answered. He will...
There you go. There's your spokesperson. Rudy's not suing anybody. Everything's going through Mr. X.
What do you say?
The best answer that you could have got, she just gave it to you.
Do you have a copy of his life insurance policy, and would you be able to release it?
I don't have it. I believe that the investigator has it.
Once again, my name is Pauline Sanchez. I don't have no... It's like I said, I can tell when people are lying. I've been there. I've done that. Not what's happening here, of course, you know. But I left home at 12 years old for certain reasons from Janie's father abusing me. And it runs in the family because he sexually abused me. Okay? I shouldn't have said this out loud because it's been a long time. So it runs in the damn family. Her uncle, I'm not going to mention names.
Say the name.
He tried to do that too. Okay?
What is that other?
Okay? I'm tired of this, and this has to stop somewhere. Rudy needs help.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pauline, ¿te puedo hacer una pregunta? Pauline?
Yeah.
¿En Spanish?
Yeah.
¿Van a tomar acciones legales contra el departamento de policía
Are we going to take legal actions again? No.
Is that a bullhorn in her hand? Is that what this silver thing is? Is a bullhorn?
Started with this. As this account unravels, check out my channel and check out
Presence. Thank you for being here. May God bless you all. Please pray for Rudy. Assalamu alaikum.
You know, we cry
To at this time, but I.
That was it. So, what do you guys think? I personally am 150% convinced this is about a lawsuit. Oh, Dawn, are you still here? Did you want a link? Dawn? Oh, Dawn? If not, I'm going to get off. I got to get up early. I got to pick up Dayton from Nashville. And then he flies out again the next day. Quanell's Houston's Bullhorn Betty. Is that that looks like a bullhorn. I don't know if it is, though. So, my conclusion, I do not trust this guy. I do not like this guy. All right, hold on. What the fuck? Hold on. All right. Oh, shit. Oh, man. All right. There's your link. Now, I don't know if HPD is corrupt or not. I have no idea. But I'm certainly not going to say they are based on this con artist. Nope. I'll pin it. So only 37% of you would absolutely protect your kid at any cost? Okay. Well, it's better than Jamie having a gun. Poodle, I don't know, show me a cop that's not corrupt. Show me a police station that's not corrupt in some which way, shape, or form. Allegedly, Southern Gal. We don't know if that's true. I don't believe anything from this guy. And I'm sorry if I'm a minority, but I don't believe anything. I think this guy is so full of shit. And again, this is a complete agenda. This guy's not worth $20 million because he tells the truth. That I can promise. He's a good speaker. I just don't buy it. Dawn, you got like 5 minutes. 3 minutes. I'm getting off. She has 2 registered to her, and she's allowed to have a gun. See, but here's the thing, though. I don't know if all these people want her to commit suicide, because then they can say they were right and she should have been arrested. I don't know. I don't know the woman. But it seems, the whole thing seems odd to me that, Rudy had no part of this. That Rudy had no idea. Pom Pom. He's not poor. He's worth $20 million. Do you know why? Because he charges people. And he figures if they're poor, well, then he can rob them and take a huge amount of money. Because if there's no lawsuit in this, you're not going to see him speak. He's not doing this for free. He's not doing this because he cares about Rudy. And anybody that thinks he is, you're sadly mistaken. Yeah, but that's why the agenda is to go after the police. That's the exact reason, is to go after the police. He's not going to sue the family. He's going to sue the police. There's no coaching job that you make that you're worth $20 million. No. I don't know where you heard coaching can pay $20 million. No. He goes after high profile cases and makes money because of it. Pom Pom, you're one of those people, though, that believe this. He's not doing this because he cares about a poor family. He sees a light at the end of the tunnel. He sees money at the end of the tunnel. Yeah, he owes $345,000 for advocacy he never provided. So if he's such an advocate, why would people pay him $345,000? An advocate usually works for virtually nothing. All right, Dawn, I gave you plenty of time. I'm shutting down. I don't know why you asked for a link and then never came up. But we do have to remember someone called him in. He wasn't chasing ambulances because it wasn't a big story at that point. Hold on. I'm telling you, you don't have to believe me. Just watch. Watch how this whole thing unfolds. Okay, he was a leader of the Black Muslim movement. He's an ex-Black Panther. Oh, you know why he was kicked out of the Black Panthers? Because he was defrauding clients. That's why he was kicked out of the Black Panthers. Even the Black Panthers know he's a scammer. But in 2012, lawsuits had piled up from clients who claimed Quanell had defrauded them, and a judge in Harris County eventually ordered the activist pay $200,000 to a grandmother he failed to provide services to. Hey, Kirby. However, as of 2022, no payment has been made. An investigation published by the outlet in 2022 found that Quanell repeatedly accepted cash in exchange for advocacy. He was ousted from the People's New Black Panther Party in 2018, with leaders posting a video message featuring alleged victims, which were titled Victims of Quanell. At least 9 individuals and families sued Quanell for breach of contract and related issues. Quanell responded to the claims, said that the 9 lawsuits were unfounded and largely was spawned from a Black activist based in Beaumont. Mary Wiltz told the Chronicle she paid Quanell $17,500 to help her with a custody case of her grandson. Quanell's been known to draw media attention to cases by holding news conferences and protests. Despite the scandals, Quanell has remained a prominent activist in the community, which is why he was contacted by Rudy's mom. Black Panther Quanell burns the American flag. Oh, this is interesting. On one news conference, he said that she did drug him. According to this, he said, I believe she was drugging him. Big difference. The well-known local activist was filmed escorting Farias. Alice, we know already. In 2004, he was accused of evading arrest in a motor vehicle after police said he disobeyed their command to stop his car as he drove a shooting suspect to the police station. As a member of the Houston community for over 30 years, I can confirm Quanell sucks. That's what somebody wrote. Yeah. Sorry, not buying it. Yeah, but Poodle, maybe there's a reason. Maybe there's a reason. Maybe the reason is because they don't know if Rudy's guilty. They don't know the part that Rudy plays in this. Just because some con man says he's a victim doesn't mean he is. How do you know Rudy's mom abused him? You don't. You don't. You're just going by what this con man says. You don't know if it's true. None of us know if it's true. It could be. It might not be. That's why the cops are investigating. Yeah, a lot of people saying from the Malik Davis case. How come nobody talks about it, though? Like, none of the news reports are talking about that. It's crazy. Sorry, I'm getting off, though. I got to do some stuff. So, yeah, just remember you heard it here first. This is all an agenda for a lawsuit that's coming. This is all an agenda for fake Malcolm X to file a lawsuit against HPD. He's not stupid. He rallied up the entire world. People like Pom Pom believe that Rudy was abused and molested and drugged and everything else with absolutely zero proof. Genius over here claims that he's got a recording, but yet he hasn't played it for anybody, not even the police. Hasn't leaked it to the media, hasn't given it to anyone, but you're just supposed to believe him because he says it. A known con man. Pom Pom, do you follow JLR? I bet you're a JLR fan. So, yeah. I'm sorry, guys. Just remember, you heard it here first. This is about a lawsuit. If there's no lawsuit to ever happen, then he's going to go bye-bye. This man does not care about Rudy. This man could care less what happened to Rudy. This is all about the moolah. Money, money, money. If you don't believe me, stick around. You'll find out. And again, you heard it here first. On that note, I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful night. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.